All right, welcome to the Brian and Chris podcast, the A&C Podcast. I'm Brian,
I'm Chris.
and we're here to just talk about this real stream of thought stuff for us. Get out, talk. We enjoy talking to each other, have a good conversation, and just talking about things outside of just what we have going on. So it just be thought it'd be cool to bring you all in on that.
Yeah, definitely. I'm ready to kind of share all of my, um, I think, great opinions, but it is the internet, so we'll see how great they actually are. But I mean, I have right now the way I'm having it set up is I just got a bunch of stuff that I kind of want to talk about as far as news and things like that in regards to some of the nerdy crap that I'm into. And I'm sure Brian has some stuff ready to go as well. But this being our first episode, please bear with us. There are growing pains, but we're hoping that this will be, uh, if not entertaining, at least it'll be a good jumping off point for us.
Oh yeah, definitely. Appreciate any feedback. Anything you notice audio wise that we can update and fix. Please leave comments on that. If nothing else, if it's shit, tell us it's shit. I mean, I want to see all of it. But I'm just trying to get a good feel for this, establish this, and then work into doing it more often, better, improving quality, and quality can improve with no feedback. So appreciate anything you have to say for that. And
Yep, definitely.
well, let's just start us off. Um, a thing that's happened really recently that I'm personally excited about. I mean, nothing in my personal life specifically, but on YouTube, websites, Machinima got bought by like another company, Hoopla, whatever, whatever. But they're like gone for the most part. But they're one of their larger channels who made a lot of Machinima and did like game coverage and stuff like that. Inside Gaming is now back. They've been able to those they moved over to Rooster Teeth about 2 3 years ago, became Funhouse. But now that Machinima is owned like parent company wise, owned by the same company as Rooster Teeth now, they were able to get all their old video content back, their name Inside Gaming back, Inside Gaming Daily bring back a lot of their content, and that's something I'm definitely excited about. Seeing like just the evolution of a process. I don't think it's something I've seen before as far as like a content creator having a brand, having to leave that brand behind to go somewhere else, and then being able to recover it in something like that. So it's really interesting to me, and I enjoyed the content. So
Yeah, it's definitely the first I've ever heard of this kind of back and forth almost, where a lot of their old content, like their old library, basically any videos that they made had a because I had that machinima stamp on it. Essentially, they weren't allowed to go and recover those for their newer audience that they may be setting up, or for their audience for the fans that kind of moved with them when they moved over to Rooster Teeth becoming Funhouse. But it was really cool that they got all those videos back. It is a little bit confusing to be honest. The first video I watched, I was a little bit confused because the Inside Gaming kind of started off as a more news centric type of show. So they kind of do a talking heads thing where they would just go back and forth about the different gaming news articles that were coming out. So they were just doing games journalism pretty much, which then eventually evolved into doing let's plays and smaller like comedic back and forth let's plays. Which is what Funhouse is now, is largely that, and they have a little bit of that inside gaming news piece
yeah,
built back into it now with the Inside Gaming name getting taken back. So it is a little bit confusing, but it's good to see that they're able to get all that stuff that they worked on in the past and kind of incorporate it. And really, what I'm excited about is all those memes that we get to get back from that. So with Tunt Life and all that stuff, I'm really excited. I hope that they're able to kind of cash back in on that stuff. But we'll see. Funhouse doesn't necessarily dive back into their old stuff that much. They like to kind of create new things as they go along, but it would be cool to kind of see like a Sims playthrough or something along those lines.
oh oh yeah. And so really looking forward to like the Inside Gaming Daily and just really specifically the daily portion that they were doing because they stopped doing gaming news for the most part until like recently when they started doing their weekly show. But then I'm not even sure they're going to do that anymore now that they have Inside Gaming Daily. So um I'm looking forward to seeing that. And back to you talking about it was confusing. Yeah, they said that for like a lot of things, like in their video, that inside inside gaming was going to replace Machinima. Like for as far as like anything else, like they were just putting inside gaming in the place of Machinima and just absorbing all that stuff. But then they took over the channel, the No, and not the Machinima channel. So it's like some of that stuff was confusing. So the Machinima YouTube channel still exists, but the No's YouTube channel is now Inside Gaming. Funhouse channel still exists. Yeah, it'll be a little bit of working out. I imagine like everything's probably how it's going to be now, and so they'll just sit and roll with this how they have it right now. But I'm definitely interested in seeing like what all is going to pop out of it, especially like them being able to incorporate a lot more people into it. They'll like almost the entire cast of the No is now a part of Inside Gaming. Funhouse still exists as its own separate entity, but you have the people who've been doing this for longer. Um, Adam Kovic, one of like the first people for the Inside Gaming back when it was Inside Halo, 12 years ago, basically, because I posted a video today about 12 years, is going to be able to like helm one of the people to be able to helm and direct a lot of that. I think Lawrence is one of their primary producers and journalists on the stuff. Or shoot, Bruce is a producer, Lawrence is a journalist, Adam is just like a showrunner. They can keep all this stuff going. So I imagine this is going to be a very large and interesting part of the staple of like gaming on YouTube in general. One of the larger channels that's not just general PewDiePie doing whatever he decides to do, whatever day of the week, or something like that's not straight comedy based like Donkey with with longer form stuff. Because Donkey's really good at breaking games in short form.
That's true. I mean, yeah, I'm like I said, I'm excited for it all. It's kind of cool. I have a big like thing about MCNs in general, the multi-channel networks that are kind of all over YouTube, and especially more recently. I don't know if it's just because it's been more just more aware as far as the public is concerned, but the MCNs are at least a lot of the bigger ones are starting to get bought out or go under or what have you, and a lot of these people are losing their jobs or turning around and losing all that hard work over the last so many years building a brand and then having it kind of just go away because a company bought another company out. Where things like Smosh and you see channels like that kind of fight to have to stay, not relevant, but fight to have to, maintain their brand, which really sucks. But it's kind of cool that Inside Gaming got it back. And I know a lot of people have a lot of love lost for Machinima, as far as, or there's not a lot of love lost for Machinima as far as it going under. But yeah, I'm excited for the kind of videos that we're going to see and the kind of content we're going to see come out of this.
Yeah.
Um,
And breaking off like the back of just that this like talking point, um, a thing that happened about 3 weeks ago it was when Machinima got bought out, they privated or removed all of the videos Machinima had ever made, any Machinima owned channel had ever made. So all the Inside Gaming stuff went away, all the Prime Machinima channel stuff went away. Just everything was gone, and that was really a point where folks really weren't sure what was going to happen. Like, or well, other than people who like back some stuff up, they were able to recover it. But it was like, oh, all this content on YouTube is just gone now. It's like people are talking about like things when you put something on the internet, it's there forever. But this is a situation where all of this stuff that did exist, hundreds and hundreds of hours of content, just vanished in the thin air. No heads up, nothing like that. And it was crazy because it was like some of these videos I'd go back and watch occasionally. Like somebody I watched JonTron. I go back and just throw on JonTron's um playlist and just watch his old videos. It's just dumb funny. Back when he was talking about Takeshi's Castle and stuff like that. Just 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 it's funny content, but it would be real weird to be like, oh hey, I want to go watch this again, and it's just not being there. When it's like especially when you're talking about something on YouTube like Netflix and stuff like that, you get used to like their catalogs rotating and stuff like that. But YouTube usually is like, oh hey, this is here, unless it gets like straight copyright strike, because it's like you put somebody's movie on YouTube and it's just not there anymore. But this is just content someone made for YouTube that has existed for 8 years, and now it's just gone. That was um, not necessarily scary, but a weird, definitely weird time for a lot of people who were looking for that content. Because I think I noticed it like before I saw anyone that had posted that had happened. I'm pretty sure I went looking for a video and it just wasn't there, and I was like, this is weird. And then this when I like saw a bunch of stuff like drum up about, oh hey, Machinima got bought, all these videos are gone, but it was like not just Funhouse's not just excuse me Inside Gaming's channel, but the entire Machinima catalog with its 12 million subscribers on YouTube was gone. There's nothing.
Yeah, I don't think I noticed it mainly just because of the fact that I had unsubscribed to Machinima a few years ago. But back when a lot of the bigger names on Machinima were starting to branch off, do their own thing, or videos had come out talking about how, they're no longer with Machinima. So
Yeah,
yeah, I didn't really notice it until, of course, Inside Gaming or Funhouse kind of picked it up and started talking about it.
and that's
But yeah, it is. It's these kind of things happen, and it's Machinima is one of the largest, I think, video like channels to do it ever, to where they're just their content is gone, or they're past creators are trying to get some of their content back since it's no longer a thing. But but yeah, it's interesting. YouTube's very
hmm
interesting this year, so far.
yeah. This year's started out interesting in the grand scheme of things. Like some things have happened this year that I wasn't sure I was going to see. So, and I'm interested in seeing what other crazy stuff's going to pop up.
Definitely. And smooth transition from that. So I have a few things that I have listed. I don't know if you want to talk more about the Machinima a bit or YouTube in general.
So we can
But
move.
yeah, if you didn't, I got quite a few things that I wanted to talk about. Just quick kind of news tidbits. I'm gonna try to find a way to work this into like a more structured way for future episodes. But for now, I'm just kind of going to go through the things that I picked up and Google kind of curated for me on my behalf. Thank you, Google, for knowing everything about myself way better than I do on my own. But so we'll just start it off with we had some news that came out. Hasbro officially announced that the Bumblebee movie officially rebooted the entire franchise for Transformers,
Oh
the
snap!
entire Transformers franchise. So for everybody crying about how Michael Bay, and I was one of those people, I am one of those people who cried that Michael Bay kind of, not that he ruined Transformers, but he took it to a place that nobody really wanted. We may get, hopefully in the future, because Hasbro kind of confirmed this, that we're gonna get that G1 look back, hopefully, or at least some good storytelling with some heart with these characters, and a reboot will be on its way, because a lot of people were kind of worried. They saw the movie, they liked it. For the people that didn't see the movie, they liked it, and they were hoping that this would kind of branch off in its own thing. Although the way the ending is, for spoilers, it does kind of leave things almost not as open as you'd like, to where it just goes right into the almost into the first Transformers movie. There's definitely a time gap, of course, but the way it's set up is just like Bumblebee becomes a car from the first Transformers movie, and the rest is Shia LaBeouf history.
Right.
So this was like really good news as far as I'm concerned. I was really excited. Whether or not this means that whoever's going to pick up the movies is going to make decent movies is another thing. But at least at this point, we can kind of be looking forward to a new Transformers movie, rather than like not so much like looking forward to it, but in the past, whenever a new Transformers movie was announced, I was kind of just like, well, I guess I'll see it and I'll probably hate it. That was kind of the attitude, and Bumblebee kind of turned all that around for me. Again, if you haven't seen the movie, please go see the movie. And I don't think it's in the movie theaters anymore. It's been a few months, but pick it up when it goes on DVD at least, or catch it when it's on Netflix. It is fantastic. It's got a lot of heart. It's got a lot of emotions. Haley Steinfeld, however you pronounce it, she's fantastic as the lead. And then you have Bumblebee, who's like one of the more charming Transformers, and the way his character is in this movie is fantastic. And then just the opening sequence for this movie must have cost a buttload of money, but it is fantastic. I mean, it's ridiculous. It looks like what you dream about when you think about like Star Wars G1 generation, Generation 1 Star Wars, a War on Cybertron, like that's what you want to see in a movie. The first
Transformers.
yeah,
Said Star Wars.
the first oh sorry, Transformers. The first two minutes of that movie is some of the best Transformers things I've ever seen ever. And if this is the case for these next movies, I'm literally looking forward to it.
And I think that the movies themselves, like the Transformers property, can do can benefit a lot from not being done, not having the movies being made by Michael Bay. Like Michael Bay has made blockbuster movies. Like they've made a bunch of money, and nothing I say can change that. But just adding heart to the movie, um, having just in general directions for your movies to go. That's not, oh hey, we got to get more big explosions in this. Let's make it happen. Whatever, whatever. Type deal with the movie, and that's definitely something I'm looking forward to personally. And and from watching from going to watch the movie and then coming out, even now checking on what his box office numbers were. Just thinking like this is technically the sixth Transformers movie we've gotten,
Right.
so it's not difficult to see why the box office numbers for this movie aren't as high as the other movies that have come out. But I mean, I think we've talked about this before. To want to talk to people and say like, oh yeah, I know there are six of them, but this one's good. Like,
Right, right,
even being like, especially in something that didn't have a good run that didn't have like an amazing run as a series in general. Like it may have made a lot of money, but something like watching Harry Potter, we're like, oh hey, blah blah blah. We've watched 1 through 6 at this point. There's seven has two movies. Bow, we're going to see both of them. It's like,
right,
or it just has that pull and stuff like that, or even for the Hunger Games, like different series like that. This is like not necessarily telling a story that's specifically based on books, so people aren't like invested in seeing the next book come to life. They're just would just go to see the movie itself. And I hope that if not, when this movie is able to get like really critical reception, especially when it comes out on DVD, Netflix or wherever, and people are like, oh hey, did you actually see this movie? This movie's actually pretty good. Where it's actually
right,
gain more traction at that point, and then and that builds even more not necessarily hype, but builds more interest in the next whatever movie they decide to do next. I mean, they confirmed that this did reboot the thing, so I mean, I imagine it making money would have played a part in that, so they can determine whether or not they're going to make more. Like, oh hey, we rebooted it, but we're not going to make anything else. So it's kind of like
right,
that's
right,
pointless. So
right.
I guess that
So
means
it'd be a
something
big
coming.
cop out. So.
Yeah, yeah. So I imagine something's coming next, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what we're able to get out of the property now that it's not just being made for explosions for the sake of explosions.
Right, right. Spectacle. But
Right.
yeah. So moving from there, another Haley Steinfeld movie or a movie that she was in was Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, another great movie that came out around the same time as Bumblebee. And that movie, so the news behind this movie is that Sony actually went ahead and made the software, the animation software for this open source. So it is available free for public. And you can go and get it and mess around with it. Now, that being said, it's not going to make the movie or whatever you're working on look like Into the Spider-Verse. That movie took layers and layers of software. It wasn't just one piece of software. I mean, if you just go see that movie, you could tell it. There is so much stuff going on in that movie, and it looks amazing. But Sony did make their I guess it's their 3D rendering software or their animation software. It's Open Color IO. They've used it for their previous animated movies like Cloudy and a Chance with a Chance Meatballs and Hotel Transylvania and things like that. But that has become open source. So for all you kind of animators out there, if you want to go check that out, there's a bit of news for you there. We also had some Avengers Endgame teaser news. So if you don't want anything spoiled, don't worry, I'm not going to spoil anything. But as anybody knows, if you look at any news online, you know that toys ruin a lot of big franchise movies, right? They're always showing stuff before the movies even come out. They even name them before the movies come out. but there's one particular set, a Lego set in particular for Avengers, and it's a War Machine Lego set, and it's this giant mech. Now it's Legos, right?
Right.
So who knows if it's gonna be in the movie, but there is this, like, as far as scale goes, let's say like a regular robot or a regular person for scale is about up to the kneecap of this mech. So this
Oh
thing
man.
isn't like not like a Hulkbuster. It is like an entire mech suit that looks like War Machine. So so if we do get that, fantastic. If we don't, then I'm a little disappointed. But at least it wasn't spoiled. But but I'm kind of hoping that this is like an actual true life spoiler, because that would be awesome to see something ridiculous like that
Oh,
in
yeah.
my Avengers movie.
So and I think so I haven't got to see that, but from like the description, I'm not sure how you would put a Lego, like how small would you have to make the Lego suit for the little Lego man for it to like make sense for you to be able to have a roadie and then put him in the War Machine suit. I'm not sure what scale you would need for that, but if they have if they have a giant War Machine, I would not be disappointed.
Like, think of Giant Man size, like from
Oh
the
man.
Civil War movie, except it's it's just a giant Iron Man suit. That'd be cool, right? I'd like to see that.
I definitely like to see that, and maybe that's like a thing from. I mean, this is where now I'm in full speculation mode, but like
Yeah,
something to do with like Ant-Man growing him, like hitting him with the thing, and he just gets really big or
that
something
could
like
be
that.
true
I mean,
too.
so that's
Yeah,
so necessarily need to be like a specific mech for
but
that.
how does that work though? Because like the suit, so just this is me being a nerd, but like, so Ant Man's suit is made to expand and contract with him, right?
Right.
But like Iron Man's suit isn't. So if Rhodey gets hit, would his suit just become big and then he would just like fall into the leg or something, or like?
I think it would. I don't know. They play
Right,
so. I mean, for the sake of the movie, I think he would grow with it. Yes. Um, but when you're looking, oh, actually, I don't think you want to grow people if they're not in suits, because the suits like mitigate a lot of the thing.
right.
So it might just grow his suit, because
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure Ant
unless they
Man's
built the
suit.
suit, right? Unless they built the suit together.
Right.
But
That's really like one of the things Hank Pym didn't want the Starks to have access to his technology. That
exactly.
though, I mean that's the next up for it is Tony Stark getting his hands on it.
You're right, right, right. So that's my little bit of a Avengers news, and then I have some other news. I'm just gonna keep hitting you guys with some news, like bam, bam, bam. All right, so like, for all you anime nerds out there, we got some Dragon Ball news. Now, if you know me in real life, and if you've heard our season 0 podcast, I believe it's mentioned on there before, but I cannot stand Dragon Ball Super. Now, I love Dragon Ball. I love Dragon Ball Z growing up. I mean, it's a staple of like any 90s kids, even early 2000 kids, like childhood. Like, you weren't cool unless you're watching Dragon Ball Z, right? Like, it doesn't matter what ethnic background you're from, what community you're from, like really what age. It's just like, if you were around when this thing was on TV, you were hype, right? Dragon Ball Z was the shit. And then, we had GT, which was just trash. There's a few outliers out there who like GT because they're masochists or whatever. And then you have, and then you have Super that came out, right? And people were like, "Oh, Dragon Ball's back and Super's lit and all this stuff." Boy, I hated Super. From episode 1 through 6, I knew that something was wrong with the show. And then my fears were confirmed. And then people were like, "No, you gotta watch it again." I was like, "I'm not watching this garbage." And then it proceeded to go over some movies that we had seen. So it went Resurrection F and or Battle of the Gods Resurrection F that came out, right, and they did all that in the series. And then they went and they screwed themselves again because they had two horrible arcs. And I don't care what you guys say, the tournament arc is the worst shit I've ever seen in anime, and it took way too long, and I hate those characters. And anyways, now that I got that out of my system, so Dragon
Warmed
Ball
up.
Super, yeah, Dragon Ball Super does have a little bit of news. Well, I guess I should say Dragon Ball Heroes, the little weird anime, like 3-minute commercials that are coming out. I
I got
guess
you. Yeah.
they're like, what are they, like otherworld stories, pretty much, right?
Yeah. It's or
Or
the
Elseworld, or
anime has been to like promote a game. It's actually a game. Super Dragon Ball Heroes, where you can play as like any of these characters that not one that they're creating, other characters that have never existed that have really just been fan theory almost. Just they're creating those characters, animating them for the show, and they're also putting them in the game as well.
Right. So you got a bunch of non-canon characters running around doing things, and like some of it's pretty cool, right? You get to see like Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, who you've never gotten to see before, and has always been just like fan speculation. So some of that stuff is pretty cool. Although I still hold true that I think that this whole thing is ridiculous because one, it's gimmicky because it's made to promote a video game. But beyond that, there are some cool things. So there was a shot recently for a trailer for Super Dragon Ball Heroes, and it has Goku in a Grand Priest outfit. So this coupled with the fact that we are getting more Dragon Ball Super, I believe this year, a lot of people are freaking out about this as far as the Dragon Ball community is concerned. Now, I don't think it means anything for Dragon Ball personally. I think it's just Super Dragon Ball Heroes being Super Dragon Ball Heroes, just showing us a character who is pretty much a non-canon fan creation character. But whatever this does mean, if this means anything, hopefully we'll get some kind of resolution on that Grand Priest arc. Because really, if you watch Dragon Ball Super, the end of the Tournament of Power didn't. It was like, oh, we kind of wanted to do more, but we didn't. We stopped it short. That's what it felt like, at least when I watched the ending for that.
So I think going like into like we're seeing like a thing like different speculations and stuff like that. Goku training with like, or at least as far as just regular Dragon Ball Super goes, Goku going to train with the Grand Priest is almost a jump too far
Right.
at this point because Goku's not better than Whis. Goku, I mean, coming out of watching the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie, Goku was still like like as an individual. Spoilers and no spoilers, no spoilers. I mean, Broly's still stronger than him. Broly's just that guy. So
Right.
it's like Goku's not individually at a point where he needs to go train with the Grand Priest yet. Um, and in any content we've seen, probably even fan speculation at this point, Goku or in fan theory stuff, Goku still isn't that strong yet. Um, so I mean, mastering Ultra Instinct would probably get him close to Whis, maybe, but he's just not at the Grand Priest level, and I don't think the Grand Priest would spend his time training Goku or shoot anyone other than maybe the Zeno if he was gonna train anybody. You have Whis for that. Goku can't beat Whis, so he still train and learn from Whis because Whis still knows a lot Goku doesn't know. So that's where I would put your limit on him now. Like unless like something crazy happens in the first arc of the show or something like that, he may be able to get some cool stuff like that, and then that'd be cool, maybe. Or even if the Goku you're seeing is like Goku Black training with the priest, Grand Priest or something like that, because Goku Black when he merged or something like that was really strong. But I think this is definitely something that's probably relegated to Super Dragon Ball Heroes, not mainline or Dragon Ball Super.
Yeah, we can only hope. I mean, I I don't really care for Dragon Ball anymore that much. Every now and then I'm like, oh, that's interesting, but most of the time it's just a big letdown. So I don't like I keep up with the manga, I keep up with the anime, but as far as being into what's going on, I have a lot of my interest has waned over the last like 2 years. Um, but that's it for my Dragon Ball news, and then I still have about 4 or 5 more things, so we'll just hop through those real quick. Henry Cavill, we got a picture of someone edited this amazing looking old Superman. So they took a headshot of Henry Cavill from one of his movies. He's like in a suit, or could be for like a Vogue photo shoot or something. But somebody photoshopped the suit from Batman Beyond. So there's an episode of Batman Beyond where he meets Superman. Like Superman isn't like he's not human, so when he ages, it's not the same, right?
Right.
So like Bruce is like this old, like really old, angry old man, but Superman is pretty much the same. He just got some gray streaks on the sides, right?
Yeah.
And he's got this like cool looking white suit with this like black text on the front, black X S. and very future looking, right? But someone took that design, and it's really just like I said, like just a bust of Henry Cavill, but it looks like a live action version of that design. And man, I would watch a Batman Beyond movie even if they said Zack Snyder was directing it. Like I would be so in for a Batman Beyond movie. It is ridiculous.
That and that would be an interesting direction to see DC go with their content. They've they personally they need to do something. I mean, people enjoyed Aquaman for some reason. I mean, not for some reason. It the movie wasn't terrible. It just wasn't Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse or Bumblebee, but it made more money than both of them put together. I don't. It wasn't like the. I don't know. I really don't know. But I would be definitely interested in watching. I'm going to go to the theater and see probably anything that DC puts out. Why I'm going to give everything its fair day in the court of my mind. So I'll sit there and watch it, maybe watch it twice if I feel it deserves that. But uh, I'm I would be interested in seeing a Batman Beyond series. I'm interested in seeing what they're able to do with the or is any future stuff, past stuff, alternate different Earth stuff. There's a lot like DC's animation has trounced mostly anything. Like people will give Disney a lot of props because Disney puts out movies and their movies do really well, like as far as the animated movies and stuff like that. But just an animation and going like for shows, even movies, DC's animated stuff is probably on a level all its own. Like
It's on another level for sure.
then and so I would love to see like not even stuff that I've particularly specifically seen before, but just see just the people that they have in their animation wheelhouse, animation story stuff. Excuse me, put out content that for a movie or a live action movie, stuff like that. And I was actually thinking about something recently where oh, I mean, we'll get to this, but just like how the I got something else we're gonna talk about. How you differentiate between what you can do in animation versus what you can do in live action, or live action and still keep it live action enough versus like most of it being CGI. Like so, like different things you can do when you're crossing those lines to have it still be good, make sense. It's like, oh hey, like like for example, Thanos in Infinity War. Thanos looks amazing for all CGI character. It's
Right.
it's it's impeccable. It's great. It's crazy. But then you take a step back from that. I think the year before, maybe 2 years before that, you have Steppenwolf in Justice League, and he looks. This is like so. This dude looks out of place in this movie, and it's just different seeing those levels of effects. But and these are just going with into it is just the character, just a character, not the environments, all the other things like action and stuff that's happening around that. So that's definitely something we're going to talk about later because I want to talk about Disney's Aladdin when we get to that.
I was gonna say that doesn't sound that sounds like an Aladdin talk.
Yeah, and that's where we're definitely going to talk about that later. But
Yeah.
wanted to like just piece it on that, and I'm interested in seeing what DC does because I know they can do great stuff. I've seen it. I watch it all the time. So I know they have it. I'm waiting for it to materialize in something live action. Waiting for them to catch that spark that shoots them into the skies. They understand what they need to do, how they need to do it to get it done.
Yeah, I'd be on board, like I said. At least for a Batman Beyond story or something in that universe. It's one of my favorite iterations of that character. And that animated show, especially, if you go back and watch it, it still is a really good watch. There's a lot of twists and turns, and there's even like really good standalone episodes. It rides off the back of Batman the Animated Series so well, and it takes it to a futuristic level. Sorry, level, and it it just really enhances, I think, the storytelling. It's a little bit more mature, and I'd like to see that in some kind of live action form. I think it'd be great. So yeah, moving on from there, we have a few more things. So Netflix has announced that they canceled Punisher and Jessica Jones. They are officially canceled. So both of those. Now Punisher, I knew it was coming if it wasn't news already,
Right.
and Jessica Jones, I thought was already canceled, but I guess now officially it's canceled. So Jessica Jones' third season still is going to air, from what I read, but after that it's done.
And that's what I was gonna
So
ask. I thought like
yeah,
I was
so
gonna wait till making the third season. Okay.
so we still get third season Jessica Jones. We and then that'll be the end of that. Now, really, what all this just means is that it all of this stuff is coming back in another form somewhere else online, right? And another service, presumably, since Disney's creating their own streaming service. Now, a lot of people were worried because they're like, "Oh, this means that they're done with the whole Defenders universe." And to be honest, that might be the case. They might be done with that universe or that bit of storytelling with these characters. They may have ran their course, which is fine. They did a good job with all of them for the most part, and one or two characters notwithstanding. I'm looking at you, Iron Fist, piece of shit. But
Right.
the rest of that universe is pretty well done. It's interesting. The characters are good, especially Punisher. I love Punisher. I love Daredevil. Luke Cage was really good for bits. I think the first season was very
Definitely.
strong in the beginning, kind of fell off, and then the second season was pretty strong throughout. And Jessica Jones actually was kind of a sleeper hit for me. I wasn't really interested in it, but the characters, especially the first season with Purple Man, so
Yes.
interesting. Like he's so terrifying as a villain. Second season not as memorable, to be honest. I don't even remember what happened in the second season, but um, the third season, I'm pretty looking forward to the way they set it up at the end. But if they're done with these characters, then like I said, they had a good run, and I'm glad we even got it in the first place. It was really cool, and you know, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of bad blood between this whole thing. I mean, it's a very big business deal, right? But having these characters run their arcs, and then Netflix and Marvel both made substantial amounts of money off of this, they're happy with what happened. So I'm looking forward to what they do next with Disney streaming service. Hopefully, I know that the CEO was it Bob Iger, right?
Yes.
CEO of Disney has come out and said that we're still going to pursue keeping those adult-oriented films, things like Daredevil or whatever other franchise that Fox has, Predator, I think they mentioned. Those series will
Deadpool.
stay
Yeah.
at an R rating, or they'll still push that adult um not category, but the audience, right? They're gonna
Yeah.
maintain that general audience they had before. What more than likely they're just gonna have a different name on the front rather than Disney, showing up with a castle in the front
Right.
because they've had in the past. Miramax, I believe, was a Disney offshoot that pushed out films like well, I can't think of any off the top of my head, but they had a bunch of films that were adult oriented, and you didn't even know that they were
The Disney
using
company.
Disney's money,
Right.
right? So I'm sure that they'll do something similar. It'll be a little bit more obvious because everybody knows now because the internet age. But again, this is a little bit of sad news, but not unforeseen.
So I'm definitely interested in what other content we're gonna get out of all this. I don't know if said Disney right now is doing a lot of stuff with the Marvel characters, and at least as far as their children's shows and stuff, a lot of animated stuff. But I know that they are making efforts to do more live action stuff, at least as far as Star Wars is concerned. I don't imagine them stopping as far as Marvel's concerned. Just basically, especially if you can make content
Make
foreign options
money.
and and
Money.
also make money. The mouse cares about the money. Um,
Mm-hmm.
make it happen. If you can do it, you will, and I don't have a doubt in my mind that they will. They'll probably have to go back to the boards about some things and determine how they want to do it, what they want to do as far as branding goes, all that back end stuff. But hopefully be able to work all that out and then get the rest of it worked out to where they can actually push out good content. And that's definitely what I'm looking forward to seeing. Definitely looking forward to seeing Star Wars, new Star Wars show with John Favreau, The Mandalorian. Oh yes, I'm all for that
Hype, hype,
hype.
hype, hype, hype.
Um,
All right.
but yeah, so we'll see. Just have to see what happens with Disney Stream Service. What it's going to be called when it drops. I want to say we got something as far as a name, but maybe not. I know we didn't get anything as far as release date, but I think it's supposed to be coming out this year.
Yeah, I think it was this year. I mean, you'll see more and more Disney stuff is getting pulled from the Netflix
And
uh
though, but they're still like dropping stuff into
banks.
there. Infinity War's on there now. They're still
I mean,
playing
I
stuff
think I
now.
think it's part of a deal. You know what I'm saying? I think Netflix is like we have. I think it's just like a deal that they have,
Yeah.
like contract specifically, and it just has a certain date on it. I think that's all that is.
Oh, okay.
Like anything, I would say anything past a certain date, they're just like if it comes out after this date, then then we're not gonna put it on your service because they Disney also knows like I'm gonna make this money, so
Got
and
it.
Netflix is willing to pay for whatever it is. But moving on from there, two smaller stories are gonna be real quick. Both around the same kind of idea, but one is that My Hero Academia, one of the more famous animes that come out in the last few years, which is slowly being coined like one of the new big three.
Oh,
The other two being Black Clover and what is the other one? There's Boruto, which the reason why I forget it is because it's Naruto just with the skin lift. Like it's the same show.
face facelift, new kid, new
Yeah,
show, couple new powers. Let's do this.
it's the same thing. But in any case, Boku no Hero Academia, which is like everybody's like real favorite shonen anime these days, it's highly profitable. So of course there was a marketing thing that happened in California, and I don't know if this was purposefully for the anime, but one of the Starbucks out there has this Deku frap and this strawberry shoto cake with like the little characters on the front of the board, which you can get at this Starbucks. But I believe it's probably by university or something. But they also said they're going to make a Bakugo frap coming out soon as well. And I know Japan, they do this kind of stuff all the time. They always have these like anime tie-ins and stuff with any of their products. But it's kind of cool to see in the States. Of course, that's green and pink and white respectively for the different characters. But I thought that was cool. And we have also my last story, which is funny to me. But so Fallout 76, which was very divisive when it came out, mostly it was people who were just like, this game is just disgustingly bad. So there's a Polish retailer that's trying to pretty much get rid of their. They have these PS4 thumbsticks,
Right.
like, and they have like a overstock of these things. So basically, if you buy these thumbsticks, you get a free copy of 76. Like, yeah, that's a
Darn.
huge pay cut for or a huge discount for the game. So it just goes to show you like how bad the launch for this game was. That they're like really now they're just like usually it's an Assassin's Creed game that gets this kind of treatment.
Right.
But for Bethesda to get this kind of treatment is kind of funny to be honest. But yeah, I thought that was just a little funny, almost like a dig. But yeah, that was the last bit of my news. And I'll kick it back over to you, Brian, for anything.
So so that's definitely interesting and funny. I think I saw that story as well. Um, that game I haven't played Fallout 76. I wasn't personally. I'm not too much of a fan of playing games with other people. So and then them playing like a Fallout game and them keeping it on the same engine and stuff. I was like, I didn't have high hopes, and they weren't crushed because or I guess whatever hopes you had were if you had hopes they were crushed. But
Yeah.
yeah. So in other things going on, things recently, like so I mentioned earlier, talk about Aladdin, Disney's Aladdin, like the first like their teaser trailer for that. I guess or was it teaser trailer? Or was this trailer one? Maybe trailer one
No,
because it seemed like
it said it was like a special look trailer. I thought it's a teaser too.
Cause
I
yeah,
thought
cause,
it's
cause it, I mean, it showed like more of like not necessarily what was happening in the movie, but just showing off the art and stuff like or the design direction for a lot of stuff like that. It wasn't really putting out a bunch of hey, this is what this movie is about. It's like no,
right,
this
right,
is
right.
yeah, a special
Here's some
look.
here's some stuff to get you hyped for the movie. We're gonna show you some quick shots of some stuff.
Yeah, special look for this, and this was definitely um in the point that came off of this in waves was Will Smith as Aladdin, but I was watching other content and someone brought up another point of like another point of 2 points really, as in like why the genie specifically would be your checkout point when there is a lot of other stuff that doesn't look good, uh, as far as like the special look goes. Um, and then for after that, it's like the genie's just the thing people are latching onto, but most of it doesn't look really good. And then, or at least as far as the art direction goes, who knows how good the movie's going to be? You won't know until we get to see it. But as far as at least general like direction in this special look trailer, and then the other almost like not counterpoint but side point to that is being like that they are trying to do with this what they did with oh man, Beauty and the Beast, make the cartoon real for I mean for better or for worse, for that. And that's just basically what they're doing. They're just trying to create this cartoon and make it a reality instead of going a heavily different direction, like not having Will Smith be blue and stuff like that. Though in like the what is it in like the magazine shots that they do when they first show Will Smith as the genie, he's not blue in that, and that's what I'm thinking is probably going to happen, like because the genie is Robin Williams voiced the genie in the original Aladdin movie, or not the original, but the first I imagine the first Disney Aladdin movie. Um, but he was really not necessarily fourth wall breaking, but he he was aware of things that were well outside of the time he was in. Football helmets and
I would call it fourth wall breaking. I would go
fourth
that far.
dimension breaking. He's breaking time, you know.
Definitely.
So he knows a lot of stuff and stuff outside of that. So what I imagine for the movie, since they made an effort to show Will Smith in um what is the genie garb and not be blue, is that in the movie he may show at first appear and be blue, and they may like he may on the nose it to be like, yeah, I'm blue, this looks weird, and then just only be in that for like a little bit of the movie, and actually be Will Smith regular for the movie. We'll have to see another trailer for that. That's very well not possible, but I don't know why you would spend so much time, or like for like how not good the genie looks in this trailer. I don't know why you would waste so much money doing that for the rest of the movie when you can just have a guy standing there. So
Yeah, I mean, it's I I don't think he'll be blue for the whole movie. That's for sure. I think that you're spot on. I think that he will. It'll be a joke, and that he'll immediately be like, "Yeah, this is a little off-putting, isn't it?" And kind of like change himself. I think the way the trailer is presenting it is that he's gonna be, Blue Genie because it's the trailer and that's all we get. But I also think that whoever cut the trailer should have, I think, or whoever gave him the tips to cut it that way, I think it should have definitely been cut a little bit different. I think they should have highlighted something else in that movie. But I guess that's what people wanted, right? They wanted a good look at Genie. Whenever the Aladdin movie got announced, people wanted a good look at Genie, right?
right.
Everything else was just kind of fodder.
So,
Um,
you have a guy and his monkey. Yeah, whatever. I've seen that.
right? Yeah, yeah. Like the Cave of Wonders, like they showed the Cave of Wonder off, and it looks lame as hell. But I mean, it's just a giant cave, so I guess it doesn't really matter. It, I don't know. I think them going for hey, we want to make the cartoon look real. I think that does hurt it because a movie that takes the all the story elements of Aladdin and makes if you want to do live action, but I think you do like a mummy thing, like the movie The Mummy.
Yes.
You have that kind of aesthetic where it's a little bit more horror, right? I think I think you get a little bit more adult. Of course, it's still a Disney movie and it's still for kids, so you don't have to push that envelope. You don't have to be as scary as the movie The Mummy was, but I think that you definitely go that direction. You know, you make things the Cave of Wonders definitely should be like super spooky, mysterious, right? Like people go down there, don't come back. Like it needs to be scary. I think the genie should be this almost this malevolent kind of entity. I don't think he should
Yeah,
be. I don't know.
like
Maybe
like
it's
the
because
Jinn
to
are in
me,
Legend.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like it because genies always in history have always been tricksters, almost right. They're kind of
Yeah,
douchebags about the way that they handle their wishes. You know, it's like, oh, you weren't specific enough. You know, you asked for a sandwich, you didn't ask to not be turned into a sandwich, or something stupid like that. So
right.
so um yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just the cynic me wants it a little bit more darker or whatever. But I definitely think that route would have benefited. I think the storytelling could have been like way more interesting rather than just a rehash of this guy becoming, wanting to get the princess. And some of the other stuff looks cool, like some of the other design elements. I think the costumes look pretty good, to be honest. Especially Jasmine's.
Carpet looks hype.
The carpet looks like the carpet. It's huge, which is cool. It's like really big. If you see that shot where
The
he's like
area
standing
rug.
next to the carpet, it is big, right? And
Yeah.
and then just everything else. Hopefully, Jafar doesn't really look scary at all, which I didn't even know that was Jafar at first because he just looks like random dude, right? He doesn't look menacing or like a jerk or anything, right? And then he sounds like a little, you know, I don't know, like a little bitch. I guess the best way to put it. So like it, I don't know, man. A lot of the trailer, and I knock on trailers whenever they come out, and I would say I'm probably wrong 50% of the time, but this one in particular doesn't do. I don't think it does the movie any justice. I think the movie's gonna be okay. I don't think it's gonna be terrible, but it does make me a little bit worried seeing everything. And the genie thing is, it it looks weird to me, but maybe it's because we all know what Will Smith looks like, and Will Smith doesn't look like that, and he's a little thick boy. It's a little weird, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not excited to see this movie, but because I mean, maybe it's because I wouldn't be excited if they showed an Aladdin movie without a trailer. I'm still not excited, so it doesn't really matter to me.
Yeah. The and the thing I wanted to, well, I was basically thinking, you're saying the movie is not doing the movie any favors. People are talking about it. That and
Yeah,
that and lip service is said no press is bad press. When and this is beyond talked about. So you have this as your special look trailer. The movies will come out till May, but I mean we haven't gotten trailer, or I guess we kind of have gotten stuff trailers for stuff in Disney that's supposed to be that far out. But this has people talking about it a lot. People have strong feelings. So if you invest them with this, and then people are gonna want to see your next trailer, so they can piss and or shit on whatever you produce more. You can show them, oh, hey, Genie's not gonna look like that the whole movie, and then people are gonna be like, all right, now I'm kind of back in. You like where you see either get people on the line of or basically you can show a thing like, or where Genie may not look like that the whole movie or something like that in a later trailer closer to release of thing, or in an actual trailer. This is a special look, so like something like that down the line. So there's points where the animated Genie had legs and was walking around. He wasn't always just floating doing his thing, and I don't think you would really what is it, almost like distract your shots of the movie with this blue genie versus having like the rest of your things stick out. You have Will Smith characters sit in the movie and not like absorb all attention to him, and or at least for in larger shots and stuff like that, so you can actually see the environment. I wouldn't want something to soak it up like that. Soak up your general shots like that, because even when you're filming the movie, whatever character they're filming to the stand-in or whatever isn't blue. Or it could very well be blue, but isn't just like they're absorbing all the attention from your shots. So I don't think that that'll be in the movie like that. They have them like this in this trailer. That has people talking. That's what you want at this point. so far out from the movie. I just want you talking about it, and I want you having feelings about it. That way, when we do change it, you can be like, "Oh, hey, I appreciate this style choice." Or if you liked it before, you can be like, "Okay, I can see why this is better." And then if you didn't like it before, you can be like, "Thank you, that's better." So you can for a lot of parts get more out of it, and that's what I envision. But I'm a positive individual. Am I
I was gonna
excited for
say,
it? Am I excited for it? Still, I mean, this will be. I'm going to see this movie. One,
okay.
like, and this will be the only live action Disney movie I'll have seen. Period. Not just in theaters, but period. Like any of them.
Oh, you haven't
Peach,
seen any of them.
Peach Dragon. No.
Pete's Dragon.
No Peach Dragon. No. Jungle
Looney
Book.
Tunes?
None of that.
Oh, Looney Tunes isn't Disney.
Yeah. So I won't have seen any. I haven't seen any of those movies, but I will be there to see this and Lion King in theaters. I mean, Lion King is Lion King. I mean, I can't. There's really nothing you can do at that point. But I'm mad excited for Lion King.
Lion King doesn't have any humans in it too, though. I think that benefits Lion King
Also, I mean, you do enough
because
to.
you don't have a human next to something that looks ridiculously unreal. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I mean, I've heard talk about the giant orangutan in Jungle Book, but
That thing is fantastic. I
oh,
love that thing.
okay.
King Louis.
So then there you go.
I mean, like, I don't like. I've seen a lot of those movies. I've seen Beauty and the Beast. I thought it was okay. It's definitely a film for people who like the songs.
Right.
Like everything else is. I watched it because I love Emma Watson. I'm not gonna lie. Like that was the main draw for me. Um, CGI wasn't as it wasn't that the CGI wasn't good, but like the characters weren't as fun. You know, like Lumiere and Cogsworth and all of them, all the inanimate objects weren't as charming or fun. They were actually really creepy and off-putting, which is funny because now me talking about Aladdin and I want it more creepy. It's like maybe I don't want that, but watching Beauty and the Beast, those things like a candelabra coming to life is actually really scary. Like it's a haunted movie thing, you know.
Right.
But that movie was it was okay, right? It's I don't remember much of it. I saw it, and then Jungle Book is great. I like Jungle Book. It's I don't really care for the original that much because it's a much older movie.
Yeah.
The songs I remember Mowgli. I'm not liking Mowgli because I thought he was like a little dick, but he was okay, right? I liked Baloo and I liked Bagheera. You know, I thought those were always the main characters, even though Mowgli is.
All right. And I think I would end up
Um,
watching more like the Disney show of it more than like the movie. I can say particularly what happened in the movie, and I've seen shoot 3 Jungle Book movies. There's the animated, the one with, and the one like where he's animated and he's young, and another one where he's an adult. Like a lot of people can't say they remember like the one where he's adult, but I've seen it. It exists. There's no Mandela effect on that one, but but the the content's always interesting. Just that dynamic, all like almost Tarzan esque, but existing more than just with gorillas and Jane and her family coming out. He's interacting with other like collections of people, tribes and stuff, and with the animals as well. So it's definitely interesting. And I haven't seen the movie, but and that's what I'm not particular hyper invested in the Jungle Book like story overall.
right.
Though
Right.
but I think it's really cool what I mean just going back to what Disney did with those characters and stuff, pulling them out for Tailspin. Like the average person who even watched Tailspin and knows that is old or older Disney animated show was about those characters. Baloo's a pilot and and like sure like Bagheera and fucking Shere Khan's like a corporate guy trying to like stop them, like he's like a delivery pilot and stuff like that. It's just wild and crazy stuff coming off
Yeah, it's like
this other
it's a
content.
it's a fever dream. Like
Right,
Mowgli's like
right, right.
fever dream. But yeah, Disney did do that with a lot of their franchises back in the day.
Turn their characters
But
into
yeah, just
something else.
yeah, yeah, something else. But I mean, Mighty Ducks did it. They had a live action Mighty Ducks movie series, and then they turned around and made an animated, almost Ninja Turtles like show with the Mighty Ducks, where they were like hockey players.
Yeah, they were
They
actual
they live
ducks.
in a they live in an anthropomorphic duck world, right? Like they live in the same universe as like Donald Duck and Darkwing
Scrooge.
Duck and
Scrooge McDuck.
Scrooge, right? All these duck characters, and there's another duck too. He did adventures. He had like a plane.
Yes.
I can't
Uh,
remember. He was like an Indiana Jones type duck, right? I think that was his whole gimmick.
um, or there was what's the name's pilot, Launchpad. Launch
Launchpad.
Launchpad. Who's it? Darkwing Duck's like friend is like that. Like he
Yeah.
has like his like pilot hat on all the time and stuff like that. Yeah.
Well, no, there was one that had like an Indiana Jones hat and a scarf.
Oh man, I don't know
We'll
that.
we'll have to do. We'll end up doing a duck episode one of these days because
But just
that'll be fun.
animal shows thing. Yeah.
Anthropomorphic animal
Animal
shows.
shows.
But going back to the whole live action thing. So yeah, I've seen a few of the live action movies, and they're pretty hit or miss to be honest. But the this like Aladdin in particular, I'm not really excited to see the movie. I guess you're right. People are like talking about it, which is good. I think you're giving them too much credit. I don't think it was calculated at all. I think that they showed him blue because they were like, "Yeah, this looks good," and then people saw it and were like, "Oh no, take it back!" And now they're gonna course correct. I think the next trailer is gonna do like you said. They're gonna show him and being like, "Oh, I'm not blue. I was just it was just a joke. Remember that joke I had? It was a funny one when I was blue." Yeah, and people were like scared. Like that was a good one, huh? You thought I was gonna be blue the whole movie. So like, I think they're gonna do that for the next trailer. I don't think it's gonna. I don't think it's calculated. I think people are still gonna go see this movie, and like I said, I think it's gonna be an okay movie. What I do need though from the movie, I think the next trailer should definitely show some. It should show me some. I don't know, something else. It feels like that movie's not that long, right? Like I don't know.
Um,
Like I feel like they should show Jafar being more Jafar, like some kind
I
of
mean,
sinister plot. But
and this was just a special look, and that's the other thing. Like, so you just gotta look a special look. So this is just showing you these parts and pieces. Here's a set piece. Here's a set piece. Here's a costume. Stuff like that. They didn't like really say. Only person really said anything. Jafar said a couple words, and then Genie said something, but it wasn't like integral to any plot. What I mean, you pretty much know the plot. I imagine if you've seen the other movie. Um, Aladdin trying to get with Jasmine, but it's like they have no one spoke to like what was happening. I imagine the exact same thing is going to happen, which I mean, some people, the new people coming in, won't know if they haven't seen the old Aladdin movie. But
what are these like kids, people who weren't
yes,
born?
yes.
I guess, right?
I mean,
That's
maybe unless I mean, depending on who their parents were,
everybody.
and
Everybody.
you probably should have shown them this, should have shown them
Oh,
the movie and the show. But yeah,
it was
uh,
weird. I kept hearing Will Smith go, "Oh, that's hot." Every time he came out when he was blue, "Oh, that's hot. That's hot." That's all I kept thinking every time. Every time I see that clip now, I just like, man, I don't know about this. Like,
man, that's another thing we will have to talk about too, like how memes affect like content in general, just like the perception of things. Like,
oh,
oh
that's
man,
hot.
you're right.
Because his line is like along the same lines, isn't it? It's like, "Oh, you thought you wanted this, but you don't," or something like that, right?
Oh no, he's like, oh
"Oh, you
so
weren't ready," or
genie that grants wishes. None of this rings any bells. Is like basically because he's just saying you haven't heard of him because him being as ego driven as powerful as he is. Surely you've heard of the genie that grants
oh
wishes.
yeah. I'm telling you, man, he should be the bad guy. I don't know, like just flip it on his head, man. Make the genie the bad guy, and this movie would be like 1,000 times more interesting.
I mean, if we were starting with Aladdin 2, it'd probably
Yeah,
be
but no,
what?
that's what Jafar becomes a genie, which
The,
is, by the way, the dumbest wish you could make
the
out of all the
which
wishes.
which one does
Aladdin,
Jafar get the lamp in Aladdin 1?
yeah, he gets the lamp.
Okay,
Like at
yeah.
the
So he does so he's gonna become that at some
he
point.
doesn't become
He become big
evil.
red and he's like
He
just like
nah
throwing
nah
stuff.
nah
Yeah.
nah 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 nah. So he wait yeah.
Or he gets like another lamp or something like that.
Well, then the second movie,
Well,
What?
Jafar does wish to become a genie, but there's another time where I'm pretty sure. No, that may have just been
The
Jafar.
first the
That may have
first
just been
movie, I
Jafar too.
think he does. I
He does get
thought.
the
What
lamp,
do you
and it
mean?
just has him chained. He's still blue. But I think there's like another thing where Jafar is like an evil genie, or it may be from the show. That also is a thing because I watched the show a lot, so who knows? Like it's truly could have things where
Oh,
uh
wait up. I'm looking it up right now. No, I'm
right
not
now.
gonna let
Oh
this.
yeah, there's a
I
thing where
can't.
what's name sitting over Agrabah. Yeah, Big Blue. Big Blue's like salty. Or I
Let's
guess he's just
see.
owned by Jafar, so he's just following the orders of his master. His master's like, "Yo, dog, we got this," and he's like, "Yeah, I got it. Let's do it." And then Jafar wishes to
Hmm.
become a genie, and then he's like, "Lol,
Yeah,
nerd,
yeah.
limits."
The end of the first movie, he becomes a genie
Jafar does
because
at the
he's
end of the first
stupid.
movie.
Yeah, and
Wow.
then they put him back in the lamp. In the second movie, Iago, because Iago's in that lamp too. In the end of the first movie, he gets sucked in too. He escapes the lamp, and then he tosses the lamp in somewhere, like in a well or something. And then some jobber comes and gets it, and then lets him loose, and freaking dude wreaks havoc. But yeah, I guess let's see. Incapacitates genie. Da 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 da. Okay, so the lamp just straight gets destroyed in the second movie. That's how they get rid of Jafar. He They just like melt it. It gets thrown in like lava, and then that kills Jafar.
That's easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
Easy peasy. And then you get the third Aladdin movie, which I think was
Oh
Prince of
goodness. Oh,
Thieves
okay.
or
Oh,
King of
oh.
Thieves,
Oh, yeah, his dad with the Midas hand.
which I love that movie.
That
I
movie. That
don't.
movie's hype. That
I
movie's
think
mad
that
hype.
movie's great. They have the whole Turtle Island thing. Oh man, that was like before the Avatar. Like, oh, it's great, man. Like, I love that thing. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I think if Genie was evil, I don't know. I don't write movies, but I only write Fast and Furious movies.
Right.
That's what I write. I don't write a lot of movies and Disney movies. But yeah, I'll go see it. Am I excited? No. Do I care if it's bad? No. But I'll go see it. I like Jasmine. She was a Pink Ranger from the live action Power Rangers movie like 2 years ago, last year.
There you go. Bang bang.
She's a cutie.
Still talking about like Will Smith and Genie and the thing. It's like it's interesting. Um, like when you got to see like the first like shots like in magazines of Will Smith as Genie and he wasn't blue. There's like stuff talking about why Will Smith isn't blue. Genie isn't blue, and then you make him blue. You also change other things, and now it's a real life problem.
Yeah.
How
I
could you
hope
how could you have done this?
he changes in his face a lot and does like a Groucho Marx impression, and people are like, "What the fuck is that? I don't know what that is." It's
Right.
I mean, none of those references, if they even attempt them, will make sense. Now,
Oh no. Do you think he'll like hit in his just true all knowing backwards and forwards time thing like do like memes or some stuff like that?
I pray to God he doesn't do any. Like,
That's
if he's
Genie's
back
all
here,
memes.
if
No.
he's back there yelling at
Yeet.
Aladdin, go, "What are those?" Like, I'm gonna be so mad. I'm gonna be so mad. This
that
will be the worst.
that I'm not sure if that'll be the worst of the best. Like
No,
I'm on the path now.
it's
Like
the
oh man, if
worst.
you're gonna
What's
do it,
wrong, Aladdin? You need some milk? Like, no, like
oh man,
no. I hope they stay away from the memes.
oh man,
Um,
that
Now, if it's self-referential, if Will Smith does oh, that's hot, and he's looking at a thing of lava, I will, I will buy someone else's ticket just so they can go see this movie. Like that'll be admission. That'll be worth admission. If he's looking at lava and goes, "Oh, that's hot," I'm like, you know what? I can appreciate that. That's a
uh,
good joke.
and that, I think something else you were talking about or him like saying something like that or how referential they can be with like the movie and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, the stuff is already done filming. They're doing effects and stuff now. Like I don't know if you're gonna get too many reshoots before May. If anything wild like that, I mean, you might be able to squeeze in. Oh, that's hot. Uh, but it's
Oh, that's hot.
like you might be able to squeeze that in, but I think like mostly what we got is what we have is what we're gonna get.
Of course you could squeeze it in, man. You're flying by some lava, trying to escape the cable wonders, and Genie's in the lamp, and you just audio over it. Oh, that's hot. Like, that's all you got. It sounds like it's coming from in the lamp. You just hear,
Right.
oh, that's hot. That's all you hear.
You see, call Will Smith on the phone to say, "Hey man, can you say
Oh,
all that's hot?"
that's hot. Can you just say real quick? Oh, that's hot.
Oh, that's hot. Is
Oh
wild.
man.
So
But yeah,
that'd be cool. I'd definitely laugh more.
it's a trailer. What? How much can you really break a movie down from a trailer without having to see the movie first?
Right.
If
I
you go
mean,
back and watch the Matrix movie trailer, that movie trailer is fucking wild. I watched
uh,
that shit recently, and that's one of my favorite movies. But that trailer is not that great. That trailer is, I
hey,
mean, I trailer is still pretty good, but
it's not. It doesn't do the movie itself a lot of service. Know what you're
no,
saying?
not that I remember. I might have to go watch it again. Maybe I watched like movies have multiple trailers, so
Yeah.
I might watch one of the worst ones.
And
But
then I mean, there's even still the story of speaking of still on Will Smith. Well, Will Smith's like why he turned down the Matrix. He was um
I did see a video like that pop up in my feed. I
yeah.
did not watch it because I didn't care enough. But yeah,
So basically, what he talked about is like when they went to pitch the movie to him, all they like the Wachowski brothers at the time uh was basically we're speaking to him about like the scene with Trinity when like she jumps up and like kicks that one cop, but like how the camera like pans around her like that. They're basically explaining him the technology of that shot and not like the rest of the movie. So he's just like all right guys, I'm gonna go do Wild Wild West. Have fun with your movie. And then they got Keanu Reeves. Whoa. And then the rest is history.
the rest is history. Keanu Reeves fits better with that movie, anyways. I don't. Will Smith would have been too charismatic, to
Yeah.
be honest. Keanu Reeves is great. I love Keanu Reeves, but he works perfect as Neo because Neo is a boring person. Like
Right.
just like, oh wow, it's almost all this stuff is so much to take in. Like, whoa, dude, and deja vu, and like that. Oh my god, I love that movie. I gotta go watch that movie again. It's so awesome. I love that movie.
So
But
but
yeah, I
I'm not
don't.
sure if this movie like kickstarted or I mean was the jump off point for Keanu Reeves as an action star.
No, hell no. Let
What,
me.
what,
Let me. I will do a Keanu Reeves episode. I will teach everybody about Keanu Reeves. All right, it's this movie was it launched him into superstardom, but he was an action hero long before this movie. Okay, okay, just listen. Okay, all
okay.
right, yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I guess no. Speed would have come
This
out. Yeah, I
Speed,
almost forgot
Point
about Speed.
Break, um,
Point Break.
uh, freaking. Why can't I think of the other movie right now? There's another movie, Johnny Mnemonic. Man, there's tons of movies that came out back in the '90s. He's an action star right before this movie came.
All right, all right, all right. Superstardom, though. I'll
Yeah,
take it.
super stardom. Yeah, but speaking of, I saw a trailer for John Wick 3 a month or so ago. I cannot wait for that. He's riding horses in Manhattan, cutting people down with a samurai sword. That's pretty good stuff right there.
Let's do this.
Yeah.
I've seen what you have to offer, and I'm to here for all of it.
Yep. But yeah. What else you got for me? You got anything after Genie talk? We got anything else?
Nothing specific.
Nothing specific. All right. Yeah,
Well,
I'm out for news. As far as news goes, I pretty much covered most of the stuff I wanted to cover today. But if I end up coming up with more of a, hey, this is like what I specifically want to talk about week to week, I'll try to work that in a little bit better. But for now, I'll just use my Google News feed and kind of just run down the stories that I think are relevant or interesting to me and possibly the audience.
got you. That sounds good to me. Um, so I think that's gonna be it for this inaugural episode of the BNC podcast. Um,
Woo! We did it.
I'm Brian,
I'm Chris.
and we'll catch you guys next time.
See ya.